Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I've got the one, the only Linda Grindel in the house. Hi, Linda.
Hi, everybody. It's good seeing you. I did my COVID test this morning. Zilch, nothing. Because yesterday there was just the faintest line, and my son said, "That's still positive, Mom." I said, "Damn it." But
I,
this morning there was no line. It's gone.
I was calling Linda almost every day, and she's probably like, I'm so glad that this COVID test is negative because Auntie Mel can't call me so early and wake my ass up.
Because I told him that's the one thing I didn't have a problem with was sleeping. I wanted to go on Sherry's channel for some birthday party. Uh, and I marked it down and I slept right through it.
You know, it's funny that you said that. I've got invitations and I apologize, but when we got done with that Chicago event, I think I slept for 4 days.
You worked your pachikas off.
You know, when I'm working, people say calm down. And it's not that I'm nervous. It's just that I'm thinking 5 steps ahead and I'm going with that switch on. But when I turn it off, it
Why do
goes
you think I'm not in charge of these things anymore? I'm
there.
done.
I don't mind the work. I kind of liked it actually. Uh, it's right up my alley, but it was a lot of
So
work.
hats off to Julie and Dennis. They did not get COVID. And people
Yeah,
writing me, telling me they had a good time. Nobody got COVID.
good, good. Yeah, I haven't had reports of it either.
And
Um,
Vinny and I had it. We had the same exact symptoms. We had to have got it on that flight.
I think so. A lot of
So
people get it on airplanes. You know, before we get down to business, I do want to say I have openings for Peru. Mayflower Cruises and Tours was able to get me more spaces. So if you're interested in Peru, I've got just a few openings on the Italian and French Riviera, and I've got a lot of openings for Iceland in next October. Peru, September. Peru is a lot of walking. So if you have a hard time walking, I would advise not going. Anyway, call my office, 847-590-5411.
and
As
for a good time, call that number too.
Yeah, for a good time. I told you, it was my old joke. I went out to sell my body and I made $25.25. And Gary said, who gave you the quarter? They all did. It's an old joke. As we speak, Hurricane Milton is whipping up through the Gulf of Mexico. And, Linda had predicted in her predictions for this year, and I have predicted as well, that these hurricanes were going to get more intense, last longer, and be bigger storms. And now and when they whip up through the Gulf, that Gulf warm air really fuels them.
It's a category 5 now.
And they've added another category 6. And I'm thinking it's going to get up to a category 6. And Linda brought up something. Do we think parts of it might hit Mar-a-Lago? And I see Mar-a-Lago getting damaged from this hurricane and
Yeah,
others.
it doesn't sit on top of it, but it's going to go by it.
Correct. The thing is, if you're in Florida, I cannot stress to you enough how severe this storm is going to be. It's going to be one of the most severe Florida has seen in a long, long time. And I'm not trying to
It's
cause,
what, 1921 or something?
it's correct. I'm not trying to cause fear. I'm just telling you, whether or not you like the officials in the government down there, when they tell you to evacuate, you need to listen.
Yeah.
If you don't, your life very well not could be, but will be at stake.
And listen, anybody with special needs, because I had someone write me, your car broke down, this or that. I was like, honey, call City Hall, they're having transport, they're helping people who can't get a ride to get a ride. And they can put you up if you have like a ventilation issue. They're putting them in places where they can plug in their machines.
Please, please, please listen to the officials. If you have to evacuate, do so. And this storm is hitting the west coast of Florida. I see it changing directions a little bit, but I see it coming way inland, really far inland.
So the west coast is still going to hit the west coast, but we talking north or south?
I think it might deflect a little to the south and widen out a little bit more to the north, but it's going to come way inland. In fact, it might come all across the state, not this way, but widthwise.
And also, I saw damage done to Disney World.
Yes. I didn't see that, but when you said it, I said yes because I got cold chills.
Yeah. I saw Disney World actually having to shut down and clean up. But so you saw, because before they were saying more up where my ex-mother-in-law lives in Bradenton, more up towards there. But now they're kind of bringing it down towards Tampa.
Well, if this is Florida, I'm not a very good artist, but let's say this is kind of like Florida, like that, right? This
Okay.
would be the Gulf side, this will be Atlantic, right? I see it cutting a swath like this way, almost across the state.
Okay.
I can't be like Trump with my magic markers.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I want to touch on really quick is how dare Donald Trump and his MAGA cronies criticize the Biden administration for the work that Biden administration did with Hurricane Helene. I watched some of Trump's footage. I wanted to throw up, and everything he said about FEMA's response to Hurricane Helene was a lie. Everything
Yeah.
he said. So don't listen to it. Um, at least FEMA under the Biden administration took immediate action. They were down there doing what they need to do, which was more than I can say for Donald Trump for that during that when that hurricane hit Puerto Rico that decimated parts of Puerto Rico. What did Trump do, Linda? He threw paper towels at people. So guess what?
But everybody, even that one of the largest papers in North Carolina is saying shame on him for
Yes,
lying to everybody.
he did lie.
I don't know what he thinks that he's going to get. The ones who believe him are the conspiracy theorists.
Well, people are worried. People are worried. Excuse me a second. People are worried about if it will harm the election at all. And Linda, you got me this shirt, and I can tell you what it's going to be right now. Can you see this shirt? It's going to be a nothing burger.
Linda G
Linda,
says nothing
nothing
burger.
burger.
It's a nothing burger.
I figured I'd get this prop in there somewhere.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Uh, on a happier note, two U.S. scientists won the Nobel Peace Prize for the discovery of microRNA. And if you're not a science buff, that might not mean much, but intuitively, I feel this is going to help in research for cancer, for how cells specialize and turn into other certain cells. The implications of this and the applications are going to be absolutely amazing.
That's wonderful. Because I've often not trusted the science with cancer because I I'm almost feeling they may have actually come up with a way to cure it, but they don't want to cure it because the pharmaceuticals make money off the drugs.
But think whoever finds the cure, how much money they're going to make off that drug.
That's true. That's true.
No. Okay, one other thing that will get started, this situation in the Middle East. I see it escalating, but I don't see it turning into a full-on Third World War. People seem to be worried about that. Um, you
I
know,
didn't see I see Putin in trouble by I think his birthday's today, right?
oh,
Somebody said, what if you could wish him something? I said, I wish that he goes through all the heartache he's caused so many people, the devastation and heartache.
well, that's not far from the truth because that's exactly what's going to happen.
But here's the deal: no money.
No, he's running out of.
Putin and the rest of them, they don't have the money to start a war. They don't have the backup.
And then I understand Hamas is still holding hostages, and Israel's marking the first year anniversary of Hamas attacking Israel. The Gaza Strip is in ruins. It's just in
Gone.
ruins. But there's a part of me that thinks Netanyahu's not working that hard to bring the rest of those hostages home because if they got
No,
home,
he's not.
he
No,
wouldn't
he's
have a reason for his war. And so,
Yeah, he doesn't want him home because he can keep on bombing everybody. And let me tell you, they were itchy fingers as far as hitting Iran. They would love to blow Iran out of the water.
well, Iran better be careful with those missile attacks because Netanyahu will strike back. That's one thing I can say.
He's getting ready to strike back in retaliation for what they already did.
It's going to be huge, huge.
Yeah, but he's going to piss Biden off.
I know. I still see Netanyahu gone. And the leader, didn't they kill the leader of Hamas, I think?
Oh, a bunch of leaders.
Yeah. All right.
Also, may I mention that the Supreme Court would not, Texas kind of came back with a life and death situation on, I think one woman died recently, and they said no. So it's okay for people to die. They won't change the rules.
Then they're going to have the collective blood on their hands and those people in Texas who allowed that to happen.
I'm looking so forward when Kamala, because she's going to change it up.
Yay. And here's you're either you're reading my mind or I'm reading yours, because the first question says, this is from Sheila be a critical thinker. I like that. Sheila says, hi, Auntie Mel and Linda. Sending get well prayers to Linda, the lovely. My question is, will there be new laws that will rein in the Supreme Court?
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I had a weird hit the other day. My followers that watch the show. All of a sudden, my guides were showing me Kamala winning, and I saw boxes at the Supreme Court, like a whole bunch of them having to pack their bags and box up and go.
I
I don't know if they're forced out or they just say, I'm out of here.
I see two of them being impeached. Now, I don't know if or possibly three. I don't know if they'll leave before that impeachment takes place. But I've said all along, I see three of them being gone after the
Right.
election. You know, boy, your psychic light bulb is hot today, Miss Grindel. I got to tell you.
Well, it was hot the other day, and I was sick with COVID, and I was still able to read, which shocked me.
Um, Sometimes I think when we're sick, just all the barriers go down,
I don't know. I told everybody I'm sick, so take this with a grain of salt. But whatever I predicted that first day when I came back from Chicago, all of it came true. So
Um, okay. And here's another question I think you just kind of answered. I can't see the name. I'm sorry if I can't read the name, but it says, will Kamala Harris win in November? Will there be questions and delays by Trump and his team? Doesn't take a psychic to figure out that second part of the question.
he'll try. He'll
He'll
try.
try. I think he'll try another January 6th, but he won't succeed. Um, there's a professor, Alan Lichtman, and
Yeah, I
he's a
saw him.
professor, yeah, of history, and he successfully predicted every president winning since, I think, Reagan. And he's predicting a win for Kamala. So
Yeah, he missed one. I can't remember which one,
it
but
was
he predicted
Gore,
Trump.
but it was Gore, but
But
actually
Trump did win. I mean, Gore did win.
Gore did win. So he was right. It was just the Supreme Court that changed it. Um, so she will also want to know, will Kamala win? And I see yes.
I see. Yes, I'm not wishing it. I'm telling you, I can feel it, taste it, and smell it.
Me too. Okay, Andrea Strawn says, hello, you two awesome human beings. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Here's my question. Well,
Checks in the mail, Andrea.
there you go. Will Democrat Mary Peltola win re-election as Alaska's sole congressional representative? She is the first Alaska native to serve in Congress, and an all-around great person.
I feel she will win.
I got cold chills. I hear a yes to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Wikolia says, hi, Mel and Linda. Glad your event went well. Thank you. Um, Mount Adams in Washington State has been having earthquakes. Is this dormant volcano awakening as Sister Mount Helens did? Thanks. Um, hmm. Well, earthquakes can signify an eruption. I'm not a volcanologist, but I think it could just mean, magma rising to the surface. And when that happens, rocks crack and it causes earthquakes. I don't see a major eruption like
Not now. I don't see it now.
I don't either. Not like not like Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's a couple years off. I just don't see it right away.
Yeah.
Jitterbug Tutu. Hi, Jitterbug. Hi, Auntie Mel and beautiful Linda. Welcome. Will there be another thug-like person threatening democracy running for president ever again? Thank you for these wonderful collabs.
I think Bear and Trump, after I'm long gone, will try to run and like he's replacing his father. I don't know why, not Junior, not Ivanka. I see Barron Trump,
I just default back to,
but he's not very smart. So he's just like Trump, his dad. His dad wasn't very smart.
I just default back to what I felt when I went to Lincoln's tomb and Lincoln came through and talked to me and I asked him what was going to happen. And the words were, justice shall be served, our union shall survive, and democracy will prevail. And I go
Thank you.
back to that. I do think that there are going to be laws passed, especially with that presidential immunity thing. So this SCOTUS ruling will be reversed. And I see presidents actually having to account for crimes.
There's that. What do you think that president is an emperor or something? Remember they were trying to pass that. A president is not a, I can't remember what they
king.
called it.
President is not a king. That was the name of it.
Yeah, so they won't go, it won't go through now because the Republicans, by the way, who are on a three-week paid government vacation, don't, Biden is asking them to come back to vote for money for the people, their constituents, to get money for the hurricanes, and they can't be bothered.
So then the Trump team can't really say anything about that, can they?
No.
About the hurricane relief. I see laws being passed, a lot of laws being passed as a result of the Trump BS that will help to curb a rogue president. And even though the president will have a lot of powers, the president will not have unlimited powers. And that's what
Well,
Trump.
and they aren't going to play that it's okay not to turn in your tax information.
Correct.
By the way, Vance and Kamala both gave taxes for 10 or 15 years.
Well, under the Supreme Court ruling, Trump could, if he did it as president, he could be immune. But I don't see that. I do not see that ruling holding up. I see it changed.
No, and they'll also not allow a felon to be able to run for president. That'll come up on the books.
That will come up. I see that as well. The other thing I see is a future court upholding Roe v. Wade.
Oh, that's one of her first things she's going to do. She
Right.
wants the border thing that they were trying to work at on her desk, and she wants the Roe versus Wade. They're going to reverse that.
Okay, Kathy Olney, I think. She says, I keep feeling 45 on election night is trying to claim the election was stolen and collapse on live TV. I don't see him collapsing. He's going to obviously try to say the election was stolen.
He won't announce that he lost for sure.
No, but I don't know. I don't think we'll have the results.
I think he's going to lose by so big that he's speechless.
I don't think we'll have all the results back election night. It might take a week, but we'll get them.
We got enough to know that night she won.
Right. So we won't have to sit on pins and needles, I don't think, like we did before.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, special people. Margie Strite. Hi, special people. Is Florida State that horrible that I don't know. Oh, we've already touched on this. She said, is Florida State that horrible that Mother Gaia is drastically cleaning it up, and this time people will at least evacuate. I don't think that Spirit says that Florida is going to get hit by a hurricane because there's horrible people there. There's some also very wonderful people there.
Exactly.
I think it's an act of nature. And I think these increasing storms, and they're going to get much more ferocious in the future, is nature's way of telling us that we need to clean up our act and do something about climate change. So,
right.
But people, please, please, please evacuate. If they tell you
exactly.
Okay. She also asked, is there any weird or weather changes for California?
There already is weather changes. We're in a heat wave right now. What do you mean? The whole world is in a
right.
Everything's shifting.
I see a lot more flooding coming to California.
Yeah, even the East Bay where I grew up. In those days at the night, you were guaranteed the nice cool winds from, the ocean.
And not now.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now it's hot all the time, so people never had air conditioning. Now they need air conditioning to survive.
Elflower 1 star said, will there be another 45 in the future? I see legislation coming to prevent a lot of that.
Yeah, that's what I was
Somebody,
saying. No, there's no kings.
right. Okay, here we go. Oh, I like this one. Never too late to dream. Isn't that a good name?
That's cool.
All right. Hello, beautiful Linda and wonderful Mel. Met you in Chicago. It's Allison. Hi, Allison. How are
Hi,
you?
Allison.
And just want the world to know your event was great. Also, thank you. Did you get Linda's check to pay you to say that? Teasing.
I'm like,
Okay.
what? What check?
Okay. Also, this is a good one. What will happen to JD Vance after this election?
Nothing burger.
All the pundits are calling him the next MAGA leader. Will he lead it or will the MAGA movement finally end?
It's going to end. No
I
doubt.
I see it ending, and this is really going to hurt JD Vance's career. And I see a lot of dirt coming out on JD Vance.
Yeah, and he's not even going to win Ohio when he comes up again.
No, I don't think so.
He did nothing for Ohio.
Vivian Hernandez, we've already answered this. She said, will the hurricanes affect the results of the election? Well, to a degree, yes, in Kamala's favor.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, this is a good one. Empathic veteran says, hi, Mel and Linda. How is the climate change affecting sea life across the planet? That's a really good question.
Affecting what?
Sea life, the life in the oceans.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's getting too hot.
The coral reefs are dying, and we need those for sea life. It's affecting everything. I don't think we've tipped the scale too far toward Armageddon, as you would say, but if we
Yeah.
don't do something soon, we will have that.
The earth isn't mad at us. It's just readjusting.
Rebooting.
But unfortunately, there'll be places that things that we used to count on that are no more. Everything is changing. And all the top scientists have said it's actually too late. It can't be reversed right now.
Well, but we can keep it from getting worse.
Yeah, but you can't reverse it.
It's funny. People worry about nuclear war and all that stuff. I'm not so much worried about nuclear war. I am, but what really concerns me is runaway climate change. That's more frightening than anything to me.
And it's happening as we speak.
It was 80 degrees here in Chicago yesterday in October. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
All right. Maureen Kelly says, I heard that the MAGAs and Georgia are going to take over the voting. All ballots must be filled out by hand and put in a box. A group of MAGAs will count the votes and make sure 45 wins. Is that true? I sure hope not. I don't see that as true. Do you, Linda?
I don't listen. There was a guy I told on one of my shows. People might have read it. I don't know what town it wasn't California. It wasn't Michigan either. Somebody took the actual postal box that people would throw their ballots in and put it in his office. So people didn't have access to it.
Wow.
And then guess what? The DOJ was down there. Feds were down there. And he acted like, oh, well, I just brought it in because it's actually up to the clerk of the court to deal with this. But he was just shuffling it off like it's no big deal. Boy, he was in trouble.
That's federal law, and they can go to jail.
Yes, but listen, back in the days when Trump won and they were causing all this drama, you didn't have because a lot of people were in Trump's pocket, including the Secret Service. Now they're on it. So I want people to know you got way more protection now than you ever have.
That's what I feel. I didn't hear that in Georgia. Of course, I'm sure they try that, but they won't, but they will not succeed.
Right.
Okay. C. Carlstrom says, hi, Linda and Auntie Mel. Love you guys. Thank you. My question is, will Trump be in more trouble for his GoFundMe pages for the hurricane money? Ooh.
Yeah, but it's after he loses because he said he'll give them 3% and he's keeping the rest. And I don't see GoFundMe punishing him either, which is weird. He got like almost $4 million. 3% of that goes to the actual people who suffered from this.
which I don't know if that's illegal. I think if you're going to do something like that, you have to donate X amount to that charity. And I see, well, I don't think GoFundMe will do anything in the beginning, but due to a public outcry, what I
Yeah,
see is legislation passed to say, wait a minute, if you're going to do a GoFundMe page, you have to make sure that and GoFundMe has to hold back a certain amount that would go to charity, to that charity.
I just saw federal officers looking at this. There's going to be something coming up. They're looking to see what he does with the money.
I heard the word fraud.
Okay.
So yes,
Well, he took money away from disabled kids.
but there's so much other stuff he's done. It's like, where do you begin? You
He's
know,
just a fraudster. He's a lowlife.
right. Um, this is a good one. David S. says, did Israel's Netanyahu make a deal with Trump so that Israel can attack Lebanon? I don't know if there was any deals made, but I think, but my light bulb went on and said that Trump was feeding Netanyahu information.
Yeah, and I also think that Netanyahu knows what side his butter is on. He'll say yes to Trump, and to Biden, and he does exactly what he wants to do.
Of course. Oh, this is a good one. Diana 1216 says, hi, beautiful Linda and Super Mel. I don't know if I'm super, but it should be beautiful Linda and Super Linda. How's that? Will the Billy Goat, I call him the Billy Goat, Ted Cruz win?
No,
I don't think so. I don't
I
think
just picked it up again the other day. I saw him losing.
um okay.
You
Eric,
know, people who need help are really getting tired of these people staying home and not helping them.
absolutely. Cancun cruise.
Yeah.
Okay, Erica Lewis asked, she says, hello, aha, a universal greeting. Okay, I'll take it. Can't wait to see you guys. Can you look at student loans? This affects so many people who do great work every day. I wish education was more affordable. We should support someone willing to put in the time and effort to get a degree certificate in something. Ciao. Um,
So
I
does she's not talking about forgiveness of student loans
I think she just wants to look at them. Will they forgive more of them?
because a judge just took off the hold on Biden and now he's free to move about the airplane. He can do student loan forgiveness. Before he was stuck, remember they
Right.
sued him and
Right.
now it's open again.
I
But
see.
I do see them figuring out a way, especially in a certain bracket of money, like based on, if your family doesn't make much money, etc. They're going to help students without these loans that cost an arm and a leg.
I see them forgiving certain student loans, and what I do see, and I agree, it's by income, but they'll have a lot more grants. Like when I went to school, I won a nursing grant. I didn't go to nursing, but if I would work in healthcare X amount of years after I got out, I didn't have to pay it back. That's why I worked as a social worker in geriatrics, and I did my psychic work at night and on the weekend. I see more programs like that. And if
They
the
have those programs now. I work for the county and you could get your student loans forgive if you work for the county for so many months.
But I see more of those kinds of programs. And what I do see is the government putting a ceiling on how much interest banks can charge on student loans. Like they're going to say they can't charge any more than 2 or 3%, which I think is great. So
Yeah.
I see more people being able to go to college. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, we're it's not sunshine lollipop,
No, no, it is not. No,
but it's going to take some years to get a lot of this through. But the main thing, we won't have that big Republican Debbie Downer stuff hanging on us. The Republicans are looking for a what for. They're going to be quite embarrassed about ever supporting Trump.
I see a comeback to the old Republican Party,
Yeah, they're going to reinvent themselves.
like the Liz Cheney party. I see MAGAs maybe becoming their own party, but I also see another political party coming into the foray, more like a progressive workers' party. And I kind of like that. So
That's nice. Yeah.
we'll have more opportunities to choose. Okay. Um, Linda Tracy says, if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my questions. She says, Happy Monday to our special people. Thank you, Linda. All of our followers are special. Hope you are feeling well. We are going to be hearing a lot more SCOTUS. We are going to be hearing a lot more SCOTUS scandals in the next few weeks. That's true. Which one of the top three, Roberts, Alito, or Thomas, will buckle first under pressure? I like.
Thomas.
I'm not necessarily seeing resignation, possibly health issues.
Thomas.
I think that Clarence Thomas is already buckling when he sent that note to Aileen Cannon about that Jack Smith wasn't appointed correctly. And the only reason he did that is because he knew that Jack Smith was going to be looking at him, Clarence Thomas, for some of the shenanigans Clarence pulled. And he was trying to set a legal precedent, but it won't work.
It's not working.
Nope.
Because it'll be back on the calendar. Mark my words.
By the way, real quick, what do you see for Aileen Cannon?
Yeah, she's a nothing burger.
I see her off the court, don't you?
Yeah, but right now she's got the case of the guy that got caught at the golf course. She's got that case. And by the way, you know how she made Jack linger for almost 2 years? This guy's case, she got it. She was getting a jury and everything like that.
Right. I see her decision to dismiss the charges against Trump. I see it overturned.
I know it's going to be overturned. I'm no doubt in my mind it's going to be overturned.
I see her.
And let me tell you something else. They're going to have, I see a committee looking at her. I see the Congress having committees now that they're going to take it back and really sizing up these SCOTUS people, because it's written that Congress can determine about SCOTUS. They can determine their money, they can determine their the do's and don'ts, and not being able to, they can put restrictions on them, and they weren't doing it a lot of times because it was Republicans, but now this is gonna happen. And don't forget, I saw the Senate having hearings. I saw them sitting high like they do. And I saw them asking, okay, we have a tape here of you saying you wouldn't touch precedents, yet you turned around and did the ruling on Roe versus Wade. Explain yourself.
Well, it's going to come through that a lot of the big religious leaders paid them off too. That's all going to hit.
But I'm going to tell you, and they're also going to say, Kavanaugh, where'd you get that money?
Absolutely.
They're going to start. And also, Neil Gorsuch had a piece of property he couldn't sell. And then when he became, when he got into SCOTUS, some guy bought his property, and he had a whole bunch of cases that were heard before the court.
That's going to be illegal.
So they're all in trouble.
They're all in trouble. Plus, they have to prove criminal intent. They'll be able to. Plus, the other thing I'm thinking, hold on, I lost my train of thought there. Scandals on the court. I see a lot more coming out, a lot more scandals coming out about the court. So I think Thomas is nervous. I think Alito is a little bit nervous, but I think right now they're still thinking that they're a little bit above the law. But you said something, you said Congress would start looking at them. And when you said that, I heard, yep, Congress is going to come down on them like white on rice.
Yeah, they're going to start giving them rules.
Big time, big time.
You can't be in the pockets of others. You can't accept favors.
And start some impeachment.
Like all the other justices except them live by rules.
Well, they're going to be able.
Did you hear, who was it? Was it Alito said Congress can't decide? Oh, they almost act like they're gods.
That's my point.
Congress can't do anything with us. Oh, really? Watch this.
Well, they can. And what's going to happen is I see 3 of those justices being indicted under criminal charges and being able to prove criminal intent. That's what.
Well, that's why I saw Thomas running. It's so much pressure. Thomas just gets out. I also feel his wife's in trouble.
Right. I do too.
I've been saying this forever.
I do too. Well, Alito's wife and Clarence Thomas's wife, I see her under a huge investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. Margie Welker says, love you both. Thanks, Margie. They are saying it's going to be close here in Ohio between Sherrod Brown and Bernie Moreno. Sherrod said yesterday this is the toughest race he's been in his 30 years. What do you both see?
Jared Brown's gonna win.
That's what I see too. Oh, well, I'm glad it's a tough race. That means people are getting out to vote.
Yeah, Jared Brown is gonna win.
Okay. Ginny says this is a good one for Californians. How is Newsom getting away with another rate hike? Will he face charges or any consequences for this?
No, he
I don't
should,
think,
but no.
I don't think so. It might get him out of office, but
Well, he ends this. This is his last term.
oh, is there a term limit in California?
Yeah.
See, there's not in Illinois. I still see a Democrat winning in California.
Yeah, but he used to be for the people. He would hit those. I think Governor Brown too. He used to hit those insurance companies up hard. But now what's happening is they're just saying, we'll walk out of California. That's all there is to it. Remember, initially they withdrew everybody's insurance, and they were able to come. The insurance commissioner was saying what was happening is people didn't have insurance all of a sudden, so the mortgage companies could turn in on the loan. You're not insured, so we need you to turn in on the loan. So what they did was they told the companies, give them the basic insurance, and then we'll figure out something so they can get fire. Like we have flood separate, earthquake. Now fire is going to be separate.
I see.
I don't have flood insurance, and I could. I had it. I checked it out. It'd be $2,000 a year. I already paid $2,000 a year for my regular insurance. I paid $2,000 a year for my earthquake insurance. So Jesus.
I see a Democratic governor coming to California who's going to be very charismatic, very vocal, and will undo some of those things that Newsom did with insurance hikes and all of that stuff. In other words, putting
His dad was a bigwig in the industry.
right,
Newsom's dad.
right. I see a
And
difference.
it's about money. I don't care. I don't know if we'll ever find it, but he gets a little change from them.
To put it bluntly, California is going to have a real kick-ass, awesome governor.
He's charismatic and he can speak beautifully, especially when it comes to Kamala and when it comes to Biden. Remember, he told that MSNBC person off. What do
Right.
you mean? Do you know what he's done for this nation? And he's very good like that, but he's also a used car salesman.
I know, snake oil, but I see another governor there who's a Democrat after Newsom who's going to be phenomenal.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. Kathy Reagans. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Kathy's lovely. Hello, Auntie Mel and lovely Linda. I hope, Linda, you're beating COVID in the butt and feeling
Yes. You know what? I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. I'm nervous about that.
You'll be fine.
I'll let them know that I'll just reschedule.
Well, you know what? You're negative now, so it's not going to matter. You can't transmit it now. You're showing negative.
Well, I'll give them the option.
Okay. All right. She says, Auntie Mel, I miss your shows. Well, I never went away. I'm coming back. We just had a lot going on all at
We
once.
sure did. I don't think you've done a show since we got back, right?
I haven't. I just
This is
needed
your first show.
I needed to rest and breathe.
I think I've done a couple little shows.
I think I did with one. I did one the other night with did one the other night with Dan and Hogarth. I take that back. But I'm starting this week full schedule.
Oh, Deanna's a sweetheart, by the
I
way.
love her. She's great. Her oils are incredible.
Yeah, Kevin's wonderful. Kevin Loving, Kevin Medium.
Yep, they were all
Kevin Loving touched my neck. I was having real bad neck pain. I swear to God, his hands were like a hot iron. I'd never felt that much heat come off anybody before.
It was a pleasure working with them and you, of course.
Yeah, and Aiden.
Aiden, yeah.
And Arthur.
Aiden is working on the editing, and of course, Arthur was a treat. He's going to be on my show tomorrow night. So, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think tomorrow night. Okay. So Kathy Reagans wants to know, do you see term limits on senators, congressional and SCOTUS being implemented so we can have fresh leadership? I see term limits on SCOTUS, absolutely.
Absolutely. Don't they have term limits on senators?
I don't,
No, they don't, huh? Because Mitch McConnell's been there since 1912.
I, he was there since State
Because
Street.
the Titanic went down.
There you go. I see term limits on senators at some point and on House members.
But first, SCOTUS.
First SCOTUS, absolutely. Okay, this is another one by Kathy Reagans. Uh, do you see Mr. Musk facing legal challenges in the future? Yes,
Who?
Elon Musk.
Oh, God, he's irritating.
Yes, yes, and yes. I see him facing legal challenges. Absolutely.
He's in trouble, and the government is considering removing all their dealings with him because
And
he's a whack job.
they will.
He
Okay,
honestly thinks Trump is going to win, by the way.
I know. He's tweeting
And for a
stuff, and
surprise.
he's going to get sued by a lot of people because he's Xing, not tweeting anymore. He's Xing, putting on X stuff that are just out and out lies.
Oh, he's paying $47 a person who signs up to work for Trump or something, and that's illegal.
He's gonna get nailed, I'm telling you. And it's gonna come out a lot of the shenanigans he's pulled, uh you know, on X, the lies he told. He's gonna lose a lot of money on X, and I still see it.
And it was bought by foreign people, so he's got foreign. Listen, they talk about these. What do they call them? The people that come over the border, illegals. Talk about illegals. I think between him from South Africa, him and his mother need to go back there. And the other one is the guy that owns all the Fox News and stuff from Australia. He needs to go back.
Oh, that's Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
I see Elon Musk, like I said, sued bigly, huge. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking billions he's going to have to pay out. And ultimately I see X going bankrupt.
And did you see that the insurance companies are dropping all insurance for his car that looks like I don't know what the hell it looks like.
Ugly. I wouldn't buy
Not
one.
that square, the triangular looking. So
Yeah.
they decided it doesn't qualify as any kind of vehicle, so they're all dropping insurance for it.
The only reason he bought Twitter was so he could use it as a platform to get Trump in office.
And guess who helped him buy it?
Trump, probably.
No, China,
Oh,
Russia.
yeah, of course they did. And that's going to come out too.
It already is out, but yeah.
Okay, Jay Schoner says, "Hello, darling Linda and darling Mel. Love and sparkles from Jeffrey Schoner." Well, love and sparkles back to you,
Hi,
Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Do you think turnout will be so outrageous they will call Kamala as winner election night?
I saw that. You
Okay.
keep saying that they need more time. But I see that night it's pretty much a done deal, and then they're going to finish it off with the call-in or the write-in votes.
Maybe what I'm seeing is they just won't make it official until they count all the write-in votes.
I see that news media saying Kamala wins
Okay.
that night.
All right.
Don't forget, I saw Nicole, although I won't be watching her show. Nicole Wallace and Rachel Maddow look at each other in total disbelief that Florida went to the Democrats.
Oh yeah.
That
Florida's
was strong vision. I said this a while ago.
Florida's had it with the Satan, and I kept seeing Florida going purple. So here we are.
Well, also when this happens, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of Reds that aren't going to be able to vote.
Exactly. So people will still vote in Florida.
Oh,
But
and I'm getting all kinds of people writing me, telling me that they went to check in Georgia. They're off the rolls.
I know, but that'll be overturned, and the courts are going to say you got to put those people back on the rolls. You
Yeah.
can't.
There's a lot of stuff being over. Thanks to Mark Elias, by the way. I give monthly to him. He's worth giving to. I give monthly to John Tester.
They're going to say you can't remove 740,000 people from the polls like they tried. Not
No.
gonna. Okay. Carrie Kobke says, "Love to Mel and Linda, and many thanks for helping us stay calm. I'm sure Harris Walls will win, but I'm still nervous about John Tester in Montana and all of
I
the,
was just thinking of him the other day and I see him coming through, squeaking through.
okay, and all the other Senate races in the House. I've had high hopes for a blue tsunami. I just wrote in my notes here, uh,
Yeah.
I didn't put blue tsunami, but um, I put huge blue trend.
Okay.
So what we can call that a tsunami, I hope.
Well, this is the end of the Republicans. This
The
is going to
MAGAs.
be such a loss that most of the Republicans are going to kick out people like Marjorie Taylor. And by the way, Jack is going to come in with subpoenas and get rid of a lot of these. Jim Jordan's, all of them. They're all getting ready to go down. And
Absolutely.
that's when they have to start from the ground and build a new republic that actually be pretty good. Because they're going to give the Democrats a lot of power because of what they've done. But what will happen is when people have power, you get idiots. And even the Democrats are going to show their ass.
Oh, absolutely.
So what'll happen is this new republic will come in and actually be appealing to some Democrats because they're going to not, they've learned their lesson.
I see a new I see come back at, like I said, of the old Republican Party. I don't agree with Liz Cheney's politics, but I've watched her in Wisconsin, and she's a conservative, and she endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And I see other conservative Republicans coming forward and endorsing Kamala. A lot of
Well,
them.
listen, and also don't forget, people were coming up to her saying they hope that she was able to take Trump down, but they can't say anything or they'll lose their career.
Well, ultimately, uh, she'll gain their support. But Liz Cheney's going to be like what I would say, well, where were you when I had a set and you didn't? You didn't even do anything because you were so afraid.
She won't play it like that. She won't play it like she's worried about this nation. She still has those right wing ideas.
And I know
She voted for Trump's tax thing. She voted everything for Trump.
I
It
don't like
wasn't until he started screwing people over.
I don't like her politics.
Yeah.
But to reiterate what I said, I think behind closed doors, she would clearly say that to people.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
right? Okay. Yvonne Ayala says, Hi, Mel and Linda. Well, the victims of the hurricane believe Republicans that say FEMA money is going to immigrants instead of them. No, they will not believe that because it's absolutely a lie.
Okay.
And it'll be shown that it's a lie. I mean, the MAGAs, Trump's base, little base is his base. I mean, he could say that, the moon is made of yellow and green cheese and they would believe it. But, you know, um, but it's going to be a nothing burger,
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
right? Drinking the Kool-Aid, if you will. Okay.
I'm gonna have to go in a minute, hon.
Okay, we got time for one more. Hi, you two. Love you both. Do you still uh do you still see Rick Scott and Ted Cruz losing? Will the Republicans in both states try to cheat and will they get away with anything?
They'll try to cheat for
They'll try
sure.
to cheat, but they're not going to get away with it.
I definitely see. I'm on the fence about Rick Scott. I'll take a quick look, see at him later. I know he's very close to losing, and I know because they didn't refuse to come in and vote for monies for the disaster. That's going to change a lot of people's minds.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to wrap it up with saying this once again. If you are interested in Peru, call me. I've got openings in my trips. Call 847-590-5411. But I'm going to wrap it up by saying in Florida, if they are telling you to evacuate, please
Evacuate.
do. Your life depends on it.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty significant, but I'll do prayers tomorrow. I'm going to do a session to try to cool it down
Let's all
psychically, but we'll see what we can do. A lot of this happens for a reason.
absolutely.
Sometimes Mother Earth just saying, F you.
Absolutely. So let's all send prayers to people in Florida and just hope that this storm doesn't create as much devastation as what they're saying it will.
Yeah.
And we can all band together to try to help them. So,
Okay. All right, honey.
all right. Love you.
Love you too. You take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.